Yeah. And we are live. Welcome to the show, baby. I'm here, joined by none other than the man, the legend himself, Mr. John, Modern Life Dating. How you doing?
I'm over here loving American women.
let me tell you something about American women.
The deliverance on that in Colombia was spot on. I gotta
Yes.
say that was the best.
Yeah, well, I did the whole thing, didn't I, when we did that live stream, and I sort of regretted it afterwards. I thought, Jesus, if anybody, well, like you said, I'd have to have relevance for anyone to care. But just like anyway. So look, we are here obviously to talk about Inner Game and your new course, Inner Game Healing, which is out today. But before we dive into that, yeah, of course, the last time that we met in person was actually in Bogota, Colombia. And I know we've spoken since then, but have you recovered yet, or how are you feeling? Because that was pretty monumental, wasn't it?
It was. I no. So the second time around was just like a precautionary Corona thing that I had to go into.
Right.
You know, just a quick 3 day. I think it was 3 days. I had to stay in quarantine there.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was awful. And it is what it is. But yeah, like now we all know, like, let's be honest, we're like both pretty educated guys who think for ourselves now. So the global narrative is switching from to be terrified about coronavirus to World War III. It's starting with Russia going to Ukraine. And this the endless fight for the average person's mind continues on.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's, you know, as I was saying before the show, I mean, thoughts going out to people who are in Ukraine, because I've been in contact with some people over there today, and you know, it sounds like you know, it's not a good situation on the ground. But I mean, it is kind of strange, isn't it? How, not strange, maybe that's the wrong word, but it's like just as one thing is ending, then the next thing comes in, and then it's going to be the next thing, and you know, it's the there is definitely some sort of weird sort of media type thing going on, I think, in terms of how all this is presented to us.
It is pretty weird. What do you think? Are we going full blown war? Or we're doing Hot Dude Con Armageddon, or what's going on here?
I mean, it's hard to say. We're just gonna have to see how things play out, really. I think it was definitely. I woke up really early this morning and I had the radio on, and they were saying about what's been happening over there, and I think, like a lot of people, they were talked about for ages, but the fact that they've gone in so hard, I think is sort of, everyone's taken a step back and gone, because the people that I know in Ukraine, actually, up until this point, everyone just said, "Oh no, it's all fine. Nothing's going to happen. It's all just Western media, whatever." And now, obviously, it has kicked off. So, so yeah, I don't know. We're just going to have to see how things pan out. I think, really, how far it goes in the country, and then where it's going to go from there.
You know, I think that with everything happening right now, I think really just now more than ever, I think guys really need to get their mind sorted off, like sorted out now more than ever. You and I, we are basically at the tail end of our player's journey to an extent, right? Because it's really, I was talking to Abu American about this too the other day, and I think, like, for me personally, the only desire I have to like sexually pursue another woman, I no longer think it's organic. I do believe it's more of a habit, almost like an addiction. Like when you're no longer drinking alcohol because you feel happy, or you're doing drugs because you feel happy, it's a habit at this point. It's been a habit I've had for a long time. It's a habit you had for a long time, and I think it's no longer stems from desire. It stems from, you know, like just what we've been doing, and we have to restructure our beliefs and restructure everything about ourselves to kind of find the next chapter. For me, the one thing that is really makes me excited and whatnot is really money. Not just like make money, but the art of money, how to set up multiple financial systems to create money for me when I sleep, so I can just have, you know, I could truly live life however the fuck I want to, because I'm no longer a slave to money. That's really the thing that is educated, that really stimulates my mind. Chasing girls and pussy and all that stuff right now really doesn't do it for me anymore, to be quite frankly. And more so, talking about inner game, healing my inner issues, and really cleansing myself out, refining myself. That really also stimulates me big time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we were talking about this over in Bogota when we were there, and yeah, you're right. I mean, for me as well, that urge, that desire to be chasing or to be sort of seeking out new sexual partners, new sexual encounters the whole time. It's pretty old. I mean, it's been pretty old for a while, to be honest. But
how long has it been old for you? You said you peaked out in 39. You said, yeah, 39 was like the best year.
I think so. Yeah, I sort of peaked out 39, and then after that, it's just sort of slowly declined the last few years, really. So no, it's not like it's down to zero, because I don't think it's ever going to go to zero. But it's definitely less. It's definitely less acute than it was. You know, you go through that whole period, 20s and 30s. You're just like, yeah, well, or to mid 30s, let's say, where you're just like, yeah, you're just on it the whole time, and then it just becomes, hang on a minute, I've just done this a bunch of times already, and what new is really going to happen out of this, you know? It's a good thing in a way. I mean, it's a good thing because you can't, if you were a horn dog for your entire life, can you imagine that? It would be terrible.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've kind of like, I still am a horn dog for my lady. So we have sex like 3 to 4 times a day every day, and so that I'm still have sexual desire, but it's it's no longer like cheaply given out to just women everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just feel like to an extent it's kind of the more my eyes have been open to game, the more my eyes has been open to the dating marketplace, the more I realize this too. Like the majority of girls out there that are still available and in the dating game, on dating apps, etc., these bitches are damaged, man. They are fucked up in the head. Like single girls are single for a reason. And that is something I've come to realize as I've gotten a bit older and no longer just kind of blindly chasing vagina, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like any sort of addictive habit. And I know you talk about addictions and these different things in the course, but like any addictive habit, you know, you start off, you get a lot of pleasure from it. You get that massive dopamine hit in the beginning. And then after that, you're sort of chasing the original high. And it gets a bit less and a bit less every time. So you either take it more higher and higher and higher, or in the end, you end up sort of moving on and maybe doing something else instead. But I mean, in terms of, you've talked a lot in the last sort of 6 to 8 months about inner game and the importance of inner game. I mean, for somebody who has obviously been successful in dating, but also in your business life and, you know, creating your YouTube channel and everything else, how important has inner game been for you in terms of building the kind of life that you want?
It's been it's been really good because I just realized that money and women are just band-aids for a larger problem.
Yes.
That you're just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People think they think that just they need the next girl, they need the next lay, they need the next thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't. You really, what you're looking for is an answer that you can't get externally. You have to get it internally.
Yes.
And finding peace. You know, one thing I really respect about you is I had no idea that you actually were sober. Because a lot of people in this lifestyle, they are drug using degenerates with tattoos all over their arms and go from Colombia to Venezuela to Brazil to Mexico. And
you're not talking about anyone in particular, right?
No, not at all.
Just like,
you know, so
there
for
could
me
be a figure like that out there.
It could theoretically be out there, but you know, the thing is, looking at what we have as a friendship, seeing that how you were just so happy and cool, but being sober, that for me was also like very interesting to witness, because I think addiction stuff kind of ties into having fucked up inner game. I know it did for me, as a former drug user and shit like that. You know, literally having to smoke weed every day, having to have alcohol every weekend, you know, I'm pretty much sober these days. I only go wild when on occasions, going to Colombia or whatever. And
Yeah.
but my day-to-day
Yeah.
life in Japan, like my drug of choice is Domino's pizza,
Which is a good one.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, the whole addiction thing is really fascinating. And I mean, I'm one of those people, and I think actually probably a lot of us are in this space, with just that very addictive sort of personality, and that's good and bad. It's bad if you use it on the wrong thing. So if you're just drinking alcohol the whole time, or if you're using drugs the whole time,
right?
Well, certainly for me anyway, because of the way that I was using them, it just got me into a lot of trouble, and I got very bad consequences.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you can redirect that energy, if you can redirect that drive into something more positive, then actually it can be a very good thing for you as well.
Right.
You can create success, and you can, I don't know, have make a good business. You can get the body you want or whatever. There's a lot of things that you can do in a positive way with that same drive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think channeling it into the gym is never a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's the healthiest thing you could do,
sure.
channeling your addiction into the gym.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the inner game stuff, what inner game is basically having a clean bill of health psychologically, and also having a healthy conversation with you, basically having a healthy self-esteem. And that's one thing I really noticed about James when I met him, James Tusk, is the guy just has an incredibly healthy self-esteem, like very, very healthy.
Yes. Well, he's a very interesting character, and I mean, we don't want to sort of get it bogged down talking too much about him or individuals, but he's somebody that he likes to party. I think it's fair to say, he has a good time when he goes out and stuff. But he also, like you say, he does have that sort of balance as well. And I was actually, I think you were on the show actually. That show we did with King Cole, and I was sort of trying to ask him a bit how he does that, because it's often people that are sort of partying hard, maybe they're covering for insecurities in some way, but he seems on the surface certainly to have that, to be quite on the level. And he's actually able to help a lot of other people as well, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the thing I noticed, just like, having rock solid self-esteem, rock solid confidence in yourself, it's really attractive to women because they are cripplingly insecure, all of them.
Yeah.
Literally all of them.
Yeah, definitely. So you sort of defined inner game as having a healthy psychological state, basically. Is that the best way to sort of encapsulate it, would you say?
Healthy psychological state and healthy self-esteem and self-love. 2 parts.
Right. Okay. And do you think, obviously you've taught thousands of guys now, do you think that a lot of people who come to this space that just don't have those things?
Well, yeah, Paul from Apex Mindset did a video recently, and he said, and it's pretty quite eye-opening. The majority of people who came to the red pill space, including you and me, we all came from a place of trauma. We didn't come to the red pill from a place of happiness. We came from a place of emotional despair, emotional trauma, a traumatizing event happened to us, whether in our youth or with women in our 20s, whatever the hell the case may be. And so we are all suffering of some sort of psychological trauma if we're watching this content, the women included. Right?
Yeah.
Little Nikki. Where's the other one? The Glory Hallelujah Babe, whatever.
Yeah, Glory. And then there's who's the other girl? Jennifer as well. There's a lady called Jennifer who comes on a lot.
Renee. So we all come to this place from a position of trauma, but the thing is, you do not want to be, with that trauma for the rest of your life. Eventually, you're going to want to alleviate it because it's going to poison the well and screw you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And do you think that it's possible to eradicate trauma entirely, or do you think there's always going to be a residue of it left?
So Ryan Fowler has told me he personally believes that you can fully eradicate trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He says he believes you can fully eradicate trauma. I have to believe him because I really don't have a way to counter that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he deals with a lot of guys, and obviously he works in hypnosis, so he's a good authority on this kind of thing.
He is
So
the expert. I I feel like to be I'm not. I don't want to put any limits on us, right? But I do feel like for example, you and I don't think we could ever get to like James's level of total. I think there's something to be said for a person who's naturally trauma free and had a good upbringing versus someone who has to re-lift themselves up. It's a different type, but it's a different type of strength. However, I do think it is better than the alternative, which is staying damaged and blue pill and living in a fantasy land. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. So I suppose it's a bit like saying the same thing about somebody who's a natural in terms of game. I mean, they're kind of correlated anyway, but they're a natural in terms of game and with women versus somebody who's had to learn it. Is the person who's had to learn it ever going to be quite as good, quite as congruent as the person who didn't have to learn it? Maybe not. But at the same time, they can both get results. So that, I suppose, is the key thing.
Yeah, I think, and like I said, it's a degree, and I think like genetics, naturally you have some genetic advantage over someone,
Yes.
versus someone who has has to work out or do steroids or whatever, and then they are not as good as the naturally genetic person. But I still, regardless, I think that it's good to just work on these things because I think the majority of people do not work on these things, and
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
I think it's truly and I think another thing is too, a lot of people don't even realize that they have problems.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because would you say, so if somebody comes to you or they've come onto one of your courses like Body Language Mastery or the Masculine Empowerment Network, and they've come there primarily because they want to get better with women, which is what a lot of us, kind of gravitate to this stuff for. Does it, presumably you see many examples where it's actually turned out when you dig a bit deeper that guy's got deeper issues. It's not really about the women. It's actually about some unresolved stuff that he's got going on.
How are you saying? How often do I see that?
Yeah.
I would say 50% of the guys.
Okay. That's interesting.
50%.
Okay. And the rest of them, it's just more, they just need a little bit of a tweak here and there.
They just need to understand the semantics of it all. Like, logistics, charisma, fashion, which you're pretty much the local fashion expert because no one else does a presentation about it or even talk about it. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But I'll tell you this. I have realized that by me sorting out my inner game issues, it has opened the doors for so much more in my life.
Right.
So much more.
Yeah.
And it's a good place to be. It really is just a fantastic place to be.
Yeah. So what's your aim for the course then in terms of the students? Like where would you see the typical guy coming in, and then where would you envisage him getting to by the time that he finishes?
Right. So if you click Troy's link and you sign up for the course right now, because and people are just signing up. Shout out to Mikhail. Mikhail just signed up right now. We're having signups blow up right now. And there's a link right there for Troy. So here's the deal. Okay. We're going to show you some episodes from the course. The course is broken down in 3 parts. There's a 1-hour video course, and these little modules are micro lessons that you must watch over and over and over again. These are the principles that led me to become a multi-million-dollar earner completely on my own, running a one-man show. Not trying to brag, but I also did it in a bathrobe and sunglasses, talking shit on YouTube. Okay. So that doesn't necessarily have to be the route that you want to go, but I have, like I said, I have $1 million award on my shelf over here. The course that me and Charlie came up with, the Crypto Mindset course, endorsed by Robert Kiyosaki, like the dream of all dreams that I ever dreamed have come true. And it started from the principles that I've done in this course. So the course has these modules. I implore you to watch these modules over and over and over again, and then take action on what's inside these modules. We're going to show you 3 completely for free today. The second part is the speaker's schedule. Okay. So I'm actually going to share the speaker schedule to the screen right now. Troy's going to pull it up there in a second. But if you take a look here, this is the inner game healing schedule. So starting on March 1st, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. We have a total of 10 hours minimum of education live conducted on Zoom. This is a 2-part interaction on each one of these days. The first part is the presentation, which you see here. For day one, it's me, MLD, and Ryan Fowler from InnerMasculine.com. We're going to talk about identifying your subconscious trauma. March 2nd, Hypnosis for Men is going to be talking about limiting beliefs and the subconscious mind. Paul, Apex Mindset, talking about creating your new healthy identity. Wraith from the Masculine Journey will be talking about enhancing your mental state and changing your self-talk. March 5th, Red Pill Thor will be talking about emotional durability. Yeah. So these presentations are going to be a minimum 1 hour long, but quite frankly, they're going to be, I mean, I think Ryan's alone on the day one is going to be 3 hours long.
Well, Paul, then, Apex Mindsets is definitely going to, is almost certainly going to go on for a while, I would imagine.
Paul is the king of monologuing. Paul's a genius. I love Paul, man. Paul's changed my life.
Yes.
And then after you get done listening, if you have questions about the presentation or questions in general, we will be assisting you live on these recorded calls. So A, you can get your questions answered. And then B, we're going to put these on a private Vimeo server. And then we're going to give you direct access to rewatch these again and again and again. And to top it all off, we have a live Telegram chat. It's live right now. There's 20-something plus people in there right now. The course has been open for about an hour and change. There's already 20-something people in there. We're going to be open for 5 more days. We're expecting probably over 200 people to sign up, quite frankly. Yeah. So that being said, you get access to the Telegram chat, which is going to be open all year. And I'm going to be seriously monitoring this chat. No BS, no crying. It's all going to be about solving your mental issues, identifying what's your inner game problems. If you have approach anxiety, if you have premature ejaculation, if you have performance anxiety, you can't get your dick up, if you have abandonment issues and you just think your girl's going to leave you or something's going to happen, bad's going to happen, you just have this doom feeling, you're addicted to drugs, you're addicted to alcohol, you can only talk to girls when you're drunk, whatever the psychological hang up you have, we're going to be able to address it and tell you effective strategies to solve it and cure it in these courses, as well as these lectures, as well as the Telegram chat. That's what you get when you sign up for the Inner Game Healing Summit.
That's pretty cool. And all the guys that you've got there it's a really solid lineup. You've got some really solid guys there with a lot of wisdom. Yeah. All of those dudes actually are just they bring so much to the party in terms of this stuff.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I'm going to be bringing to the party as well. I'm going to be involved in every single webinar. I'm going to be pushing so hard because I have come to my own realization that this is the true way to get what you want the fastest. Money Muscles Game Frame. Let's be honest. We all want pussy. we all we all want money. Right? And so by getting your mental state of mind cleared up and completely handled, excuse me, this helps you get out of your own way to get towards your goals at a faster rate.
Yes, exactly. That is the key thing, isn't it? I think that we can, or people that have unresolved trauma, unresolved issues, get in their own way. They trip themselves up. I've certainly done it. I continue to do it. I know many other people that I know, friends of mine, not in this space, but people I know, you can see people and they've got so much potential, but they trip themselves up and they keep repeating the same mistakes. And that's the cycle that you want to break, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's something you really want to get out of your own way of, because it's just, it's just when you have unresolved issues and you have anxiety, you have trauma, you have low self-esteem, you have this monkey on your back, a large part of your brain's willpower is used up to just kind of run this fucked up program in your head.
Yeah.
Once you get that cleared out, you have so much more bandwidth, if you will, to apply to getting what you want in life. Cold Approach Mastered, Nightclub Mastery, Game, Money, Muscles, Fitness, the Best Body, that promotion, starting that job, whatever, starting that business, whatever it is, as long as if you can get out of your own way, it's so important, and it's the biggest thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the mental hang-ups that people have actually in many cases that hold them back in life. I mean, if you think about, the statistic about the number of small businesses that fail,
Right.
and I'm not sure how accurate that's, it's supposed to be 95% fail or whatever it is, but within a certain time period. But I think the reason for a lot of that is probably there's mindset, and the mindset of the people starting those businesses, and perhaps their lack of resilience or their ability to let things get them down, has really interfered with that.
Yeah, I think when you have that, it's fucking it just takes up so much of your mental space. Like when I cleared it out, I didn't even realize how much mental noise I had until I cleared it out, and I was just like, holy
Right.
cow, I'm
Yeah.
so much better now.
And you were actually, we talked about this before. You were actually dealing with, even just before Christmas. You were going through some pretty tough stuff. So you've
Yeah.
actually been doing this work fairly recently. It's not like, oh, I did it years ago and that's how I became modern life dating. It's actually something that you are doing and continue to do.
November and December is when I really was just trying to figure everything out.
Yeah.
And I was going through a lot of therapy and talking with Paul. Every speaker on that list I had a long conversation with,
Yeah.
help me get through my issue. And then yeah, it was fucking insane, man. But it was crazy, the clarity that I had.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
And now you're in a better place, right?
I mean, people have noticed I've changed since I came back. They're like, I've changed big time,
Yeah. Yeah. You seem more calm. You seem more sort of chilled in a way, I guess.
Grounded is what the common thing I'm getting. I'm seeing more grounded is what people are telling me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, man. So it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. I have some samples here of the course I want
Good
to play.
stuff.
I don't know if let me know if the audio shares, but let me show you the first one. Here's a couple. We have 3 modules we're going to play today. And here is the first one. Here, let me know if you're ready. Grounded and Zen. I'll take it.
Exactly. Here we go.
Here
Shall
we
I
go.
full screen this?
Yeah.
Controlling your self-talk. This is huge. Okay, look, I don't care where you are on this planet. We live in a very negative time. People are constantly comparing themselves to what they believe to perceive perfection on Instagram, social media, celebrities, tweets, TikToks, whatever, okay? And people look at this false reality, and then the first thing they do is flip back to themselves and they begin an attack. They start attacking themselves. This is detrimental, okay? You absolutely have to control the conversation you have with yourself every single day. No negative self-talk. I'll use myself as an example, okay? I have very long arms. My wingspan is like probably 6'1" or 2. I'm 5'10". So in order for me to fill out my arms, it's going to take me a long time. I have a shorter torso, so I have a nice chest. I have a nice back. But there'll be times when I wake up in the morning, I look at myself and I'll say, oh, you know what? My arms are so skinny. I need to work on my calves. And I will make these little micro attacks against myself. This is not okay. These things add up in a very, very large way. Women do it all the time. Men do it all the time. I'm ugly, my hairline, I don't have this much money in my bank account. I need to be better. It is an endless daily assault on yourself. And this compounds. And eventually you just have this overall negative belief in yourself. You have to control your self-talk. 0 negative self-talk. I don't care what you believe. 0 negative self-talk. Because the subconscious mind operates in such a way that whatever you tell your subconscious mind, it's just going to say, yes, sir. And then it's going to go and start structuring your thinking patterns and your belief systems, which turn to be your actions in life, which develop to be your character. So you want to be flooding your mind with positive stuff. Like Irrational positive stuff is way better than realistic negative stuff. Controlling your self-talk is so important. And when you start to do this, your friends and family, if you let them in on this, they might be like, oh, you know, you're like too arrogant, or you're too prideful, or you need to be humble. Why? Because it's normal to be negative. It's normal to be self-deprecating. It's normal to be not okay with yourself, right? And what is normal? Normal is broke, normal is miserable, normal is unhappy, normal is fat, normal is bad relationships, normal is debt slavery, corporate slavery. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. You don't want to do that. If you want to have an above average life, you need to have an above average relationship with yourself, and you control that with your self-talk. Remember that, and I'll see you in the next module.
Yeah, great stuff. That's really powerful. I remember you saying that. I think it was actually in Miami when I was at the when we were at the Hot Dudes Con Miami, and you saying that thing about no negative self-talk, and it really stuck. It really struck me because, you know, I've heard about this before as a concept, of course, but the way that you said it, it really reiterated it, and I thought that's really important because what I've noticed myself is I've allowed a bit more negative self-talk to sort of come in again recently. A few years ago, I made a really strict effort to push back on my negative self-talk, and it did me a lot of good. And I've sort of allowed it to creep back in a little bit at times, and I think that's something that I need to step on because it really does trip you up, doesn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, your brain, your subconscious mind is, like I said, it's just constantly saying yes, sir. You know, so if you're like, oh, you know, I have dark circles under my eyes. He used to say, I'm like, I used to have a real complex about my dark circles. I'm like, I have dark circles under my eyes, so women are not going to want to have sex with me. And at that point, I'd had sex with like 200 plus chicks at the time, and I was still running this crazy thing in my head, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be. There's a million things. You're constantly, in the next module we're going to talk about this, you're constantly brainwashing yourself no matter what.
Yes.
So you might as well be brainwashing yourself in a positive manner, because people seem to think that being positive and talking well about yourself and doing good is like you need to be humble, or just be realistic, or don't get ahead of yourself. Like, talking yourself up is looked down upon, but crapping on yourself is looked up on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's to celebrate that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I came to that same conclusion a few years ago, though. I thought, you know what? There's this voice going around in my head the whole time anyway. So I might as well make it a positive voice because, you know, why not, right? If you've got to have something, it may as well be something that bigs you up, even if it's not, you know, even if it's not objectively realistic, you know, even if you're telling yourself, hey, I'm the man, I'm the most handsome guy on the you know, in the city or whatever, even if that's not true, it's better to tell yourself that than it is to tell yourself that you're a piece of a POS.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so much better by just telling yourself good things rather than bad things. And it's as simple as that concept may seem. People just let it they get all worked up. Like, you know, I almost, to be honest with you, I feel like negativity is like a drug.
Yes.
Like an addiction. I don't understand the neurochemical side of it, but that's what I've come to the conclusion.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely true, and I think that you know, I was saying to somebody the other day because I mean, as you know, I go from the odd existential crisis, and you know, and I was feeling quite down recently. I think it was just off the back of coming back from Colombia, and you know, you've been had that party environment, then you come back to the home environment, and you know, different things. But then I realized there was a week when I was feeling quite down, but then I thought, actually, I'm kind of milking this a little bit. It's like I am feeling there were certain things that were on my mind, but at the same time, you can sort of, because you almost enjoy it in a perverse way. But of course, that's not productive for anybody. Certainly not me or the person who's suffering from that, right?
No. There's a module as well in the course. We talk about that, but like, you know, because negativity is so pervasive and it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
that you are absolutely going to have to mentally prepare to relapse into negativity.
Yeah.
It creeps in. It creeps
Yes.
in. It snuck up on me recently. I was like, oh fuck, like I am being a negative piece of shit.
Yeah.
It really hit me recently, and I'm like, I have got to snap out of it. And you got to reset yourself and revamp everything and make adjustments, and because it's a nonstop war against you with the negativity. But most people don't even realize that you can win the war, and most people don't realize, like, you lose a couple battles, but you win the war. And most people don't even realize there's a war. They're just thinking like, oh yeah, life just sucks. You ever meet someone that's so dreary, like, God, get away from me?
Yeah, absolutely. No, there are people that definitely like that, who are stuck in that mindset for sure.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad.
Mm.
So that's what this next module is about. I'm going to share it next. This is part of the course as well. This is a good one. This one is a quick 2-minute and 40-second one, but check this one out.
You're always brainwashing yourself. Guys, we are just a moist, programmable computer. You don't have as much free will as you think you do. All right. The media you watch, the social media posts that you think are not even important, you just scroll past them, the people you spend time with, these are all influencing who you are, down to the very, very small, minuscule things you may not even think are important. They absolutely are. These next couple modules, we're going to be going over these concepts in a little bit more detail, but I really want to clearly let you know you are always being brainwashed, okay? You're like a stock or a cryptocurrency, okay? The price is going up or the price is going down. There is no steady, stable thing, all right? You are either positively brainwashing yourself to the life that you want, or you're negatively brainwashing yourself to the life that you don't want. It's a very simple concept that goes over the heads of a lot of people. If you get into this space and you're watching some toxic content, or if you're watching content about like, women are always cheating, or, this cheating affair story, or this guy got cancer story, or this guy lost all his money story, all you're doing is subconsciously programming yourself to be more receptive to these events happening to you in your life. So you have to be extremely, extremely careful about what you put into your mind, right? You need to detox from all things that you do not want, because you are always brainwashing yourself by the people you talk to, you name it. It is so imperative that you really create an echo chamber to give you exactly what you want. This is why it ties back to the personal written statement. You find out the personal written statement. You write out exactly what you want. Then you structure your affirmations based upon that. And then you start protecting yourself from the negative influences that can come to you in life, and start flooding yourself with the positive, because you're always brainwashing yourself. Thanks so much. See you in the next module.
Yeah, it's really true.
It is true, right? It's funny. The thing is, I was like, okay, so I grew up, we all know the MLD story, right? I grew up really poor, right? So in the United States, they send you to a school based upon like a zone drawn on a map, right? And so I lived in a very poor, crappy area, but it was right on the outskirts of the rich kids' zoning. So I took a bus from the ghetto into like the richest area in Orlando, Florida, called Winter Park. I went to Winter Park High School. And I would see all these rich kids, and I'd be like seeing like 15-year-olds driving a BMW. And I'm just like, my mom doesn't even have a BMW and she's an adult, and just like seeing kids having to go to lunch and have money and I didn't even have lunch money. I was so poor. I had no lunch money. I qualified for like the free lunch or whatever at school, but it was just like slop. And I was just like, I would just kind of like go and somehow I scrounged up money once in a while. But if I could get $2.50 to get a Chick-fil-A sandwich, in 2002, 2003 when I was in high school. That was like a solid day for me, right?
Yeah.
So I would go to luxury and I would come home to poverty, and I'd be like, why the fuck? Why do I have to fucking, why does my life have to suck and all these bastards get all this shit fucking for free? For at least I thought
Yeah.
for free, the kids. So I became so obsessed with success. And as I hit puberty, I started wanting to have sex, and men, we view sex as success as well, right?
Mm.
And so I was just so driven to do whatever it takes. I knew, because I learned about MK Ultra when I was in high school,
Yeah.
the CIA brainwashing program.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought to myself, I think I can brainwash myself into becoming successful. And I was just so desperate, Troy. I was so
Mm.
desperate that I was like, I have got to fucking figure this out. And I got to the point where I literally started brainwashing myself. And when I was 26, I made this mind movie, and both mind movies are actually in the course. You can get
Really?
examples of those. My one from 2012, my one from 2021, the one I currently use.
Yeah.
And it's just like looking at everything that I was doing to make myself a better man. It actually did work. And here I am, self-made multi-million-dollar earner, all
Yeah.
based upon these principles. This may seem crazy, but I swear to God, this is exactly what I fucking did to get where I am.
And you attribute where you've got to having done that work. That is the key differentiator, right?
I was obsessed. I mean, Troy, you see me when I'm so obsessed about something. I am just dialed in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
focus and then cleaning your mind out is so important, man. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's why I pursued, and I made it happen. And here we are.
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. That also as well. It's in a book. I think it might be Think and Grow Rich, or it might be The Science. Is it that book called The Science of Getting Rich? But this idea about you can't have any negativity in your mind is very key, isn't it? Just in terms of making money, right?
Well, the thing is this, right? You cannot even calculate failure into your plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You literally have to fucking be like delusional in your own success by taking action, of course, but take action, but also just leave no room in your mind for like failure to even be an option. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So no plan B, in other words.
Plan B is planning to fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so important. That's why, like, when you're in a relationship with a girl, if you find out she has like a bunch of beta orbiters and shit, relationship's probably not going to work out because she already has like contingency plans lined up. She's already like not fully committed, so you got to tell her like, no backup plan, no guy friends, no fucking backup plans around, because I'm not risking my ass for this relationship for you to sit around just to hop on your emergency dick. You know what I mean?
break glass and hop on the emergency dick. Yeah, I think do you believe as well, though, that there's a sort of sense that if you say you're focusing on a business, but you're allowing negativity about other things to come into your mind, is that going to somehow corrupt your, I don't know, like, is it going to sort of somehow infect what you're doing and sort of like make it less likely that you're going to succeed?
It takes away from your focus. Like if you have a good woman in your life and she gives you no stress, she supports your business, she's there for you morning to evening, she's just there, right? You're going to be able to dedicate 100% of your mind to your business to make the most amount of money. But let's say you're dating another girl and she's fucking going to the clubs, and she's smoking weed or drinking alcohol, or she has like a bunch of different dudes texting her, and you know about this shit, and you're like, okay, so I have to like have 30% of my brain on whore watch, and then the other 70% is like dedicated to the business, right?
Yeah.
If you put those guys side by side to compete against each other, I mean, it's pretty easy to say you're going to know which guy wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So again, the more of this stuff you can get sorted out, the better, you know, things are going to go for you. And as well as, have you noticed how when you're a healthier person mentally, you attract healthier people to you?
Dude, absolutely. Absolutely.
So all of this talk about, oh, you know, all these women that I meet, they're all broken, they're all bad, etc., etc. Actually, to some extent, you've got to be looking at yourself as well. Because if that's all you're attracting, then maybe that's pointing a finger back at you.
Say that again.
I'm just saying, for the guys who are out there who are just like, oh, all women are no good, and you know, all the women that I meet, they're broken, they're not any good. That could also be what you are putting out there, right? If you're putting out there, you know, if that guy is broken, that may be all he's getting back in return.
Yeah, no, definitely. You attract what you are to an extent. So if you're like a guy that has like fucked up, you know, trust issues or, you know, daddy issues, abandonment issues, or anxiety or whatever, you're going to attract a girl, or you're going to feel the most attraction for a girl that's like that. The only opposite is going to be like, if you date like a really healthy person and you're kind of fucked up, they'll like tolerate your fucked upness. You know what I mean? And they'll be loving and kind about it. But typically, yeah, exactly. Little Nicky says certain people project a kind of aura, and broken people are attracted to that, right? You know, broken people are attracted to broken people, or either that, or really mentally healthy people attract broken people because they kind of gravitate towards that wholeness, that happiness. You know, even if the person is not as fucked, like a person can be less fucked up than the damaged one, but as long as they're less fucked up, like, you know, so let's say the damaged person's like 75% screwed up, and then the non-damaged one's 25%, they'll still be gravitated towards that person with the 25%, because they'll see like the wholeness and the cleanliness and the you know, the light, if you will, and be attracted to that person. So the course, that's pretty much all the modules I'm going to show you today. The course is available until the 28th at midnight. Go through Troy's link. Again, you get access to the entire course database, and I'll actually show you the lineup before we go here. The course lineup is pretty good. I like the curriculum, and it's 3 parts. You get the entire course lineup that I'm about to show you here, and then you get access to the webinars, which start on March 1st. They'll be recorded as well if you cannot make it, and then you get access to the year-long Telegram chat, which will be able to link you up with other guys who are trying to sort themselves out. So you can see this is all the these are all the modules here, right? And there's the examples, the mind movies down here. Really good stuff. Like I said, very nice bite-size modules for you to watch over and over and over again in order for you to really just maximize your mindset to get the life you want. Because you know why I took the red pill? I took the red pill because I wanted to fucking live life that I wanted to live. Why do we learn? Why do we learn game? Right? Because we want to fuck the girls that we want to fuck. We don't want to fuck the girls that are available to us. We want to be like, damn, that girl's sexy. I want to have sex with her. Hey, that job is awesome. I want that job. Hey, that car is awesome. I want to create a lifestyle that I can generate the money to get that fucking car. And that's why we all do what we do here. And what's the point of living this life if you're not going to do exactly what you want to do? Why? I don't want to be a slave. You know what I mean? Me and Troy, we talked about this in Bogota. We were so smart. We got the hell out of, we got the hell out of corporate slavery. We're traveling the world in the middle of pandemic. Everybody else suffering. We're out here hanging out in Colombia, having a blast. You know, why not? Why not do what we've done?
Exactly. And look, I mean, you know, I think we're all works in progress. I mean, I have to work on aspects of my inner game. I have to work on aspects of the, you know, trauma and addiction issues and stuff like that. And I would never say, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm cured. You know, that's it. But what I would say is that in working through those things, it has opened up life to me to a huge degree that just wouldn't have been possible otherwise.
Yeah. Oh man, the quality of my relationships has gone up since I worked on my inner game. I'm able to help people around me in my life that have fucked up issues. Like, You know, it just it enriches you in such a great way. I don't understand why anybody wouldn't want to take a look outside their inner game,
Yes.
their inner selves, and be like, hey, how can I make this guy better? Because it's you, and you got to be with you until you die.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good stuff, man. It really is. And I think it's a really good thing that you're doing here, actually, because, like you said, I think this is a bit under-addressed in the community at large, and you know,
Massively.
it's there's so many guys out there who need, and women, of course, as well, who need to really get some of these things sorted out. So, so yeah, it is all to the good. Okay, man. Well, I think you've got a busy schedule today, haven't you?
I do. I gotta get on a call here, and then I'll be on Donovan Sharp's show a little bit later, and then I'll be making the rounds. I'll be on Fresh and Fit. I'll be on Rolo, John Fitch, Paul, Apex Mindset, King Dre. Everybody's coming together to put this course together to make it a big success for everyone. So I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good.
Good stuff. Just very quickly, if you've got 1 minute.
I do.
This guy, Mees asked a question earlier. He said he tried to build his life around one place for a long time until I figured it out, but I need a little bit of a change, a kick in the ass. How do you deal with risk and change? Because he's saying, yeah, sorry, carry on.
Just take the risk. Just do it. Run in the direction of your fear.
Yes. No, good point. I mean, like, I don't think there's any other real easy answer to this, is there? You've just got to grab life by the horns and just go for it sometimes, and just let the chips fall where they may.
Yes.
To use another cliche.
Grab it by the balls.
Exactly. And on that note, grab this opportunity by the balls, because it will close on Monday at midnight. So that is the link there that I'm spamming into the chat. It's in the description below. So yeah, jump on board with this course, because it is going to help you to change your life and get better results in all of the key areas of your life, including dating, socializing, your business life, and everything else, really. So, you know, and more than that, like John just said, it's about you, right? I mean, this is you. You know, you are the person. You've got to live with yourself until the rest of your life. So you might as well do the work necessary to, you know, enjoy that process.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff, man. Many thanks. And
you're welcome.
We will, good to catch up. As always, we'll catch up again soon. See you guys very soon. Bye-bye. Subscribe to the channel as well. See you later.